Previously on the
Beta
Diaries.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Beta Diaries. So we've got a few big ones today. Two of them come from a blue post, and then there's a few things that I've been looking at obviously over the last few days since I posted the last video. So the giveaways, obviously we've got giveaways going all over the place, left, right, centre, here and over on Twitch. Scottejaye87 over on Twitch, come give us a follow. Obviously at the end of this video I'm going to give away a Rozzy microphone, headset and mouse. I've selected the 3 winners from the video that I'll flash on screen now. So there's no need to comment on there anymore. The winners have already been chosen. I'll get in touch with you all individually or just contact me on Discord. Send me your address and I'll get you these posted ASAP, probably by the end of this week. The reason I'm leaving it till the end is because obviously I just want to get the WoW content out of the way first. I've been doing the giveaways at the start of the videos. I think it'll be better if we leave it till the end so we can get everybody who just wants the WoW content. They can see what they want to see. If they're not bothered about the giveaway, they can then leave. If you are bothered about the giveaways, then make sure you stay till the end because Razor have reached out now and we've got loads of Razor stuff to give away. So Naga Pros, Tartarus' V2s, Tartarus Pros, just loads of Razor goodies. So stick around to the end and we'll talk a little bit about that before we close. But let's just jump into a couple of minor points first. So the first one being if you're bothered at all, like if you do fishing, then the Weather Beaten journal I can confirm does drop from the wreckages in Zangarmarsh. So you can get hold of this so you can actually find fish or find pools, whatever you want to call them, on your mini map. So like when you're looking for pools of pure water, for example, if you want to fish your primal waters up, obviously for your recipes, your cooldowns, whatever, obviously you can do that with fishing and you can see them on the mini-map once you've got this Weather Beaten journal. So make sure you get over to Zangarmarsh, fish out of some of these wreckages and get yourself your Weather Beaten journal. I put goggles on the thumbnail for a reason. Loads of people are still asking, are they in the game? Are they in the game? Still, as of this moment in time, they're not. A couple of things that have changed on the beta though over the last couple of days is the level cap's now been raised to 68. I'm not quite there yet, but once I get to 68, I'm going to be doing loads more solo farming, so like stealth farming in dungeons, seeing how lucrative that can actually be per hour. And we're also going to look at the BM farm, which if you haven't seen the BM farm video, make sure you check that out because it's going to be very lucrative when the game goes live. The moat extractor is also in the game. So this starts from a quest in Telrador. You need 305 engineering. Once you've got 305 engineering, you need to go get some scraps. You take it back, then you can start crafting your moat extractor to then run around the zones, various zones, and obviously extract moats from gas clouds and water clouds and everything else. Now, I've not really looked once again at how lucrative this is yet, but that's definitely coming. Now, another interesting one is the blacksmithing weapons. I've not tested this myself because I've not actually got blacksmithing, but I have heard from various sources that the Dragonmore, etc., the one-hand blacksmithing weapons are actually unique, which is strange because they changed back in the day. They was main hand, so you could only use one, but then they changed to one hand, so you could use 2. They was never actually unique though, so I'm not sure if this is going to make it into the live game, but if they are making them unique for a reason to limit, you know, the not necessarily the usefulness of blacksmithing, because using one of them is still going to be better than using none of them, obviously, but I still think there is a possibility that will change in future hotfixes, patches, etc. during the beta to change them to one hand, because that's what they always used to be after the change from main hand. They never actually was unique. Now, this is another minor one that I don't really remember back in the day, and I wouldn't want to compare it to those servers that we definitely don't talk about. But the amount of motes of earth and motes of fire that I'm actually getting when mining is quite high. I mean, I'm probably averaging 1 of each mote minimum per mine. So it's actually quite quick from mining to get primal fires, which I was quite surprised about. I thought primal fires would be one of the more difficult ones to get because they historically have been. But on the beta, it's actually mining. Primal fires, I don't think are going to be too difficult to get, so the money really is going to probably lie in your primal airs and even waters, but on the basis that water can be fished rather than, you know, just killing mobs. So I just think primal fire could actually end up being one that's not overly expensive and not that difficult to farm. So if you've got a druid, for example, you know, so you get your flight form and you just fly around herbing and mining, I wouldn't be scared about getting primal fires because from what I've seen, I'm getting them thick and fast, to be fair. And if we combine that with stealth farming, so if you've got a druid or a rogue and you're doing mining and herbalism in mana tombs, for example, you're probably not going to have that many issues getting your earths and fires at least anyway. Oh, and a really minor one. So I mentioned primal nethers, it might have been a couple of videos ago, about the fact that on the vendor they were showing us like not BOP, bind on pickup, and then they started showing us bind on pickup. Well, we've actually seen now, because of the level cap being raised to 68, we've actually seen primal nethers drop in dungeons and they are definitely bind on pickup. What does this mean? I mean, it's good. They should be bind on pickup because it at least starts sort of putting a bit longer lengths of time between being able to craft these big pieces of gear, but I would fully expect to see tank looking for more Shadow Labs, heroic, never reserved. You know, we're gonna see it, which doesn't matter too much because odds are you've probably got your guild that you're going to be running heroics with anyway, but I would just prepare yourself now for these warriors or paladins or whatever who are trying to get their gear crafted to be reserving the never. So that's the only negative thing I see coming from it, but the fact that it is at least going to bottleneck a little bit of the speed at which everybody's getting their crafted gear, I do see that as a positive, so I thought I'd just throw that out there. They're definitely bind on pickup in TBC. Now let's get on to the juicy ones. So we'll put the first blue post on. World buffs. More or less confirmed that they are not going to be in TBC. Now we've been having big discussions about some of the world buffs that you can actually get, so such as the War Chief's Blessing in Nagrand and Adal's Song of Battle and all of these things. But the one that I'm still unsure of is, in case you don't know, you can get the Hellfire Fortification buff from the PvP towers in Hellfire, which gives just flat damage in Hellfire. That would include Magferidan's Lair, so that still could be possible. And the other one is the Twin Spire buff in Zangarmarsh, which again is a zone-wide buff for the towers, the PvP towers, which is 5% damage, and that counts in all Coilfang instances and obviously the raid, so SSC, Serpent Shrine Cavern. So that bit, whether we consider that a world buff or not, because it's more a zone buff, that could still be in, which is not a problem. It will have some interesting sort of interactions with, you know, the really hardcore guilds trying to push, and then maybe they've got their second raid team holding the towers to keep their main raid team buffed. Not sure whether that's going to be a thing or not, but I could see that happening if those are still available in raids. But what they've actually said, as per this post, is that world buffs will be removed when you walk into an instance. So they're changing the way world buff. I just want to put it out there now. I thought this was an April Fool's joke, and I'm not even kidding. With the way you could snapshot your raid buffs in classic, you know, on classic era servers to use them when you want, rather than needing to log out and stuff. All sounded a little bit sus to me, but I don't know. So far, it could possibly be a thing. Another interesting thing as well, we'll start to see add-ons moving a bit quicker now and getting updated because they are now available on the beta as well. I've not really found any that are working properly yet, but I'm sure there are a few. I'll just have to look a bit harder, but at least we can start to see what add-ons are going to be updated for the 2.5.1 client, which is the TBC client, by the way, sort of moving forward. I thought that was just worth a mention. But the fact, going off on a tangent a little bit there, but the fact that the world buffs are not going to be enabled in raids is massive. You know, obviously that everyone's been worried about, you know, is the world buff meta going to carry on? You know, don't want to be logging out and being forced to play an ult. Well, basically, we're more or less having it confirmed now that no, you can go and get world buffs, that's fine, but as soon as you walk in that raid, boom, they're gone. But the things that I want to test are the small buffs that I wouldn't consider world buffs, so like mind controlling the succubus in the mine, for example, besides on a hold, which gives a haste buff. It only lasts 5 minutes. Even the spore bats, when you kill a spore bat in Zangarmarsh, you get a buff for I think it's 5 minutes. It might even be 15, but I'm still fairly sure it's 5. I'd need to double check that. But are those going to be available? Can you get all your DPS to go and stand and kill a spore bat and then get summoned into, you know, Magferidon or to Grawl or something just to push that extra bit of damage, which sounds really sweaty. So, you know, it does sound like, oh, the proper min-maxing, no one's going to bother doing that. But when you've got these guilds that are going to be trying to kill Grawl between level 65 and 68 or something like that, you know, which guilds probably will start pushing in there pre-70 to try and kill bosses. This could be a way to make up for the stats that you're losing from, you know, being level 70 and the talents and etc. that you're not actually going to have. So just a thought, you know, could be a thing. But no world buffs is amazing. You know, I think that's like music to everybody's ears. And as I say, it's quite a big one. I appreciate this episode was never meant to be overly long, so this is the last point. There's not really that much news until I get to 68, which is probably going to take me another couple of days because obviously in amongst doing YouTube videos and streaming and all the other bits and bobs that I've got going on, I don't really get that much time to play. I'm only getting a few hours a night, and if you watch me over on Twitch, you know I get sidetracked quite quickly on absolutely everything I do. So I never really get that much leveling done. But once I'm 68, there'll be a lot more updates. So episode 6 of this will be a lot chunkier. But the last one, and which is quite interesting, and people probably won't like, but I'm quite a fan of it. So Blizzard have actually released a blue post as well, announcing basically that we can have races that we wouldn't have ordinarily had back in TBC. It is a paid service. It's going to be £50 or about $70, something like that. I don't know the conversion, but you can actually import from the shop, from the cash shop, the ability to play a panda. So you could be a panda, or the allied races are going to be available as well, but they're not going to come into a later phase, which is quite good, really. I mean, I'm quite looking forward to being able to play a panda again, and apparently we're going to be able to play panda druids as well, which is just immense. I mean, it's going to be quite fun. I know it's a paid service, but still, you know, if you want to play that like Clockwork Gnome or whatever they're called, you know, from BFA, the allied races, well, now you're going to be able to do it, and you're going to be able to do it in TBC, and obviously they look really good. So that's definitely a service that I'd say, without doubt, we're all looking forward to. We've all got our credit cards on the desk now, waiting to be able to play a panda in TBC. Just great news all round. No world buffs, and we're going to be able to play pandas. I'm ecstatic. I may not look it, but I'm really excited about that change. Now, outside of that, like I say, there's still a lot of things that I want to test, which I'm going to be testing over the next couple of days, but I need to get to 68 first. So the next video, the next Beta Diaries video will be full of a lot more information. This one I really wanted to just focus on the world buff side of things, which, as I say, we can see is going to be really good news. So that's just a mini update. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now I'm going to go on to doing the giveaway. So if you're not interested in the giveaway, you're not interested in hearing how you're going to be able to get lots and lots of free Razor loot, then obviously feel free to click off the video. If you haven't seen the other episodes of the Beta Diaries, go back and check them. There's 4 which contain probably a lot more information than this one. So if you've watched this far and you're not bothered about the giveaway, take care. Everybody else, let's get to it. So from the previous video for the Rozzy giveaway, which I'm even wearing their cap, I'd just like to say as well, I did actually do sort of a hands-on with the Rozzy microphone last night on Twitch. I'm going to probably clip that and put it together as a bit of a mini review of the item, because it is actually, the mic quality was really good. To say it's a hell of a lot cheaper than what I'm using. And if you want to have a look at any of these products, check the link out in the description. If you use code Scottejaye at checkout, you'll get 10% off as well, which is very nice. But first of all, I am looking down because I need to read the comments. But the Rozzy Favo Ultra Light gaming mouse. So the Favo Ultralight gaming mouse, I'd like to just say congratulations to Dustin Anderson. We'll put it on screen. Get in touch with me, Dustin, on Discord, and we'll sort out getting this sent out to you. But Gear and a Mate, so I asked everybody to tell me their fond memory in TBC, or fondest memory in TBC. So I'll just read it out. So Dustin's was Gear and a Mate, new to WoW, getting Warp Splinter and Feral Staff a lashing dropping for him. We all go nuts in the vent server, only to get nothing back from him. I'm not going to say that word out loud, but you can probably guess what it is. Had fallen asleep. So we took a screenshot of us vendor in it. Great times. So you can get this mouse so you can vendor more loot quicker, lightweight style. But I thought it was quite funny, because as a druid, if I'd have fell asleep and missed out on those weapons, I'd have probably been pretty annoyed. So grats on the mouse, mate. So the next one was for the Aria gaming headset, which, again, an Rozzy gaming headset. You can get all of these in the link in the description below. So this is going to go to Damien Moran, because his best memory was when he was a level 68 boomy noob, and some guys he knew in real life were a lot older than him, and he went into a Kara run. He was top DPS on the trash leading up to Atomum. As a result, he pumped so hard, he was so pumped about his DPS, he over-aggroed the tank and wiped the raid. They kicked him as a result. He didn't even know what the over-aggroing was, because he was clueless and didn't know what the game was all about, and he ended up almost crying in real life over it. So at least now, when you're crying in real life, your mates on Discord will be able to hear you a lot clearer with this new headset. And finally, I actually gave one of these away on Twitch last night. Like I say, we done sort of a hands-on on it, and had a good look at how it sounds, how easy it is to set up, all of the quality of the build and everything, and actually it's a really, really impressive piece of kit. So I'd like to say congratulations to Jay McFrolick for winning this with his story. So his best memory is meeting a random player in Netherstorm. He helped to kill some random mobs as she was super low HP. She thanked him, they got chatting, and both of us being excited about playing TBC. All these years later, she's my wife, and we're both super excited to relive that fun in TBC. And, of course, he's feral. So on the basis you're feral, that's 1 point. On the basis you met your wife in game, that's a beautiful thing. Brought a tear to my eye. So now you can set this mic up and tell her how much you love her, and in really high Rozzy quality. So congrats all. Now I can confirm I've got lots and lots of Razor loot on my way. So I've been talking to the sales manager, over the last couple of days, and he's sending Tartarus Pros, Tartarus V2s, Nagas, Naga Pros, Naga X's. So we've got lots of Razor stuff coming. Now, not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do for the giveaway on those yet, but just stay tuned. Some of it will be given away on Twitch, so make sure you come over to Twitch. Some of it will be given away on YouTube, and there's lots more to come. I mean, Rozzy have been absolutely great, so massive shout out to you guys, you know, for giving us this stuff to give out to the community, and actually going above and beyond and replacing a mic that I gave away on Twitch last night. You know, it was only meant to be these, but I did ask their permission. Can I treat the boys on Twitch to something? And they agreed. So yeah, massive thank you to you guys. And again, if you want any of this, you can get it on their website, link in the description. Use code Scottejaye for 10% off. Tomorrow's video, at the end of it, the giveaway will be for the pet from the last video, or the video before last, whenever it was. So there's a pet up for grabs, and there's still loads more to come. Literally, I'm going to probably be doing giveaways on every video for about the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned.